In a country where our youth dominate the headlines, there's a quieter, deeper revolution taking place. India is aging, and by the year 2050, our senior citizens will far outnumber our children. And while we celebrate our youth, new innovation, the hustle of every day, the promise of tomorrow, we rarely pause to ask, what about the people that have shaped so much of the world that we live in today? My guest today is here to change that narrative. Hello and welcome to Bookstars. My name is Heather. My guest today is Mr. Kishore Shah, Managing Trustee of the GDP Foundation and a nationally respected expert in talent strategy and organizational development. With a career spanning over 25 years, Mr. Shah has worked with Fortune 500s, global giants like Tata Motors, Cognizant, Bosch, and the World Bank. Now, his ties to Goa are just as deeply rooted, having served as the Director General of the GCCI, that's the Goa Chamber of Commerce and Industry, and having led several community-driven programs like Talking Talukas, Parivartan Corona, and even pioneered the Goa CSR Awards. Now, he's written several books, but his latest one is a powerful study on aging in India. Mr. Kishore Shah, thank you so much for joining us here today. Welcome to the studio.
Yeah, तुमका सगळ्यात माय मोगाचो येवकार, and I'm really super delighted to be here.
Now, Mr. Shah has authored several books, but his latest book, which is Surfing Grey Waves, is a powerful study on aging in India. And as Mr. Shah will soon be telling us, this is more than just a book. It's a roadmap to how we as a country can age with dignity, inclusion, and most important of them all, with purpose. Hello, Mr. Shah, and thank you so much for joining us here in the studio today.
Thank you, Yokar Tumka, and really I'm deeply touched with the gesture of Prudent Media for having invited me, because I feel this is a very auspicious start. As you said, roadmap. So our first milestone itself brings a lot of energy into all of us.
Thank you so much. Now, Mr. Shah, you've worked across industries, you've mentored leaders, you've authored 3 books, one on management,
Yes.
2 on the government's national education policy.
Absolutely.
So why this pivot to aging? I mean, aging isn't exactly a trending topic in boardrooms. Was there a point that made you say this is a conversation we need to have?
Absolutely, it's a good question. Let me take you a little back when we build GDP Foundation. So when you build a trust, you have to make a concept note, a trust deed. We started this trust 5 years back. But prior to that 3 years, we were doing a lot of work on where are the gaps. So we found social research is still not well tapped. We are just tip of the iceberg. And without social research, it will be dangerous to do any social intervention because there are multiple stakeholders. So right from day one, we decided that we will be a social research aggregator trust. We will keep sensing what are the trends in the society. We catch the trends, we do a rigor research on it, we build a model, we pilot it, and we offer it to community. So the first year, we saw a lot of things happening around self-help groups. So we built a model called Parivartan Corona. And that time Corona was there, so we played with the word. In that, we found rural youth in Goa are not participating. So we started Talking Taluka. So we give them a lot of catchy names also, so it doesn't look like a boring research. It's applied research. From there, we saw NEP transition had a lot of challenges, social challenges. So we started Together Agile program. 2 years back, I was in AIMS. As you know, my son is the first Goan to get into AIMS New Delhi with All India 28 rank. And he passed out also with a 2nd rank and a Best Students Award. So one day morning, he took me for a stroll in the campus, the extended campus of AIMS. And I saw a beautiful building. There were a lot of high-rise buildings, but one struck me. It was called Center of Aging. It was a high-rise building, and then, the curiosity really started fueling. So I went inside with proper permissions, and I saw what wonderful work AIMS is doing. And then I started almost pestering my son, Dr. Omkar, that I want to know what is this phenomenon. So there was something latent which got ignited. So then I did a lot of study with John Hopkins, which is doing something called transformative geriatrics. And then I started informal discussions with my trustees, with partners, with different colleges, and we felt a note that somewhere we are seeing aging as a problem and not as a phenomenon.
Okay.
So everyone is looking at a quick fix to the symptom. And that's how it started. So the tipping point was this building center for aging
In
in
AIMS.
AIMS. And that's how we said, okay, this seems to be a trend. And we got a lot of thumbs up from different stakeholders, experts. Okay, yes, this is an area where you will have to really go deep into it. And that's how it started.
Okay. You've said that, more than a book, this is a seeding process. I love that
Yes,
phrase.
yes.
Could you tell us, what do you mean by that? What is it that, you wish to grow from the seed?
Absolutely. As I said, this book in the initial stage was not on our priority. Our priority was doing a research. But it's just not me. Probably I'm hogging the larger glamour quotient. So there is a huge team behind it. Both the trustees, Advocate Amay Salatri, CA Sandesh Prabhu Kanolkar, come with an impeccable academic and practicing track record. Then our partners, Prasad Deshpande, who's done a lot of research on creative communication. Kaushal Prabhu Desai, who I mentored as a startup in Fire on
Okay.
QR codes. Praveen Sontake, who is a Power BI expert, and all the 4 colleges. I want to specifically name them. Kandola College, Dr. Purnakala, then Borda College, Dr. Nadaf, Dr. Manasvi Kamath, MES, and Bhushan Bhave from Vidya Prabodhini. A lot of thanks to Education Secretary and DHE Director Bhushan Savaikar, who encouraged. So we realized that, we have multiple challenges. We can't be very skewed. So aging was typically clinically dealt. At the same time, we have a lot of employment challenges with youth because we are knocking the traditional doors, which are shut. So it never happens that it's an ecosystem, so something will come up. We are envisaging, and it is really working, that there is a huge demand for geriatric social workers, research analysts, and social startups.
Which is where your college students came in.
College students came in. So we said, look, now it really looks like a phenomenon. And if we go deeper into it with a rigor, we will create a win-win-win, multiple wins for different stakeholders. So the research, when we started sharing certain parts of the research with experts, what we do is a course correction, a plan, do, check, act. A lot of people resonated that, can you create something like a plug and play book? Can you create where an ordinary person understands? Because see, aging is not like AI. AI, you may be partly connected, partly disconnected. I may be totally connected into it, but aging is a phenomenon which is going to happen. Probably, yeah, I'm 55, so I'll be the first to go into that. Correct? So you
not
will
far
come.
behind.
Someone will start coming. So it's a phenomenon happening at a micro level, at a meso level, and at a mega level it is happening. So we said, then the entire concept of converting this into a proper book, which becomes a trigger for others to build upon. So this book is not the end, it's like a comma. And we wanted everyone to be aware, because if you want to understand phenomenon, your awareness has to be heightened to a different level.
So you said you use college students from across 4 colleges, which
Yes.
was one of the most unique aspects of your research.
Absolutely.
And initially you aimed to gather data from 1,000 people. Then you got data, the book has got, data from 2,000 people. The book also talks about capturing voices, not just data. Was there a story that stood out?
Absolutely.
Something that you came across?
Absolutely. See, when you're trying to study a phenomenon, you will have to open a lot of doors and windows. You can't have just one window open, correct? So I may give you an analogy of our national emblem is the 4 lions in 4 directions. So my understanding, and this is my version, and below that it is written Satyam Eva Jayate. Now the question is, who's Satya? Everyone will have their Satya. Government has its Satya, community will have a Satya, youth will have. So in the initial stages, when I was personally reaching out to people to get a feel of it, so there was one family which invited me in North Goa, and they said, we have 4 elderly
in their house.
And I said, this is wow, that's what I'm looking forward to. So they set up a meeting on a Sunday morning. I went there. It's a lovely house. In the veranda, they had put Sumpters, go and breakfast, bhaji pav and cha and everything. And I saw these 4 elderly, 2 were on wheelchair. We had a very good discussion. But being an engineer, I'm also a little hyper. I was wondering who is taking care of them, because nobody I could see in the vicinity.
Okay.
I saw a maid who was coming and refilling our dishes and all.
Hmm.
And after that discussion, this four elderly, they moved into their house, and then a couple came out in early 40s. And I was little stunned, and that was the first experience I had a catharsis. So they came and sat and they said, look, the gentleman said, my parents and my better half's parents,
Okay.
we all stay together. So before marriage, we decided that we can't have three nuclear families, which will really tear us apart. So we made a conscious decision to stay together. And after that, what he said really churned my stomach. He said, we wanted to start our family, but then we decided it is next to impossible. So we
Okay.
treat these four as our children. Because it's exactly geriatric is opposite of pediatric.
Yes, true.
But I sense that hollowness in their eyes, and I don't say that they have compromised somewhere, but that's where I really felt the punch that we really have to collectively, collaboratively do something, because while you take care, it can't be one at the cost of the other. Can we create some simultaneous process that you are also able to lead your life, and so am I. So the entire journey back, I was almost in tears, because I could resonate with so many things happening in my life.
Yes.
And Indian society relations are emotionally laden. So we are always under that pressure of guilt, pressure whether I'm really doing enough. And वो बोलते हैं ना कि मेरी जिंदगी हर हिस्से में बढ़ गई, मेरे हिस्से में कुछ ना रहा. Something of that sort.
Okay.
So that is one incident which stayed. Not only that, even the students used to come back and narrate a lot of interesting stories.
Okay.
Sorrow, joy, happiness, confusion, chaos. All kinds of things. I think that enriched their ability to understand, which probably would not have happened in classroom.
True. Mr. Shah, you've spoken about taking care of our geriatric populations. I believe you're working on something known as the Silver Village, which will it be an answer to this problem that we might possibly be having?
Okay, so I'll just go back and make a small correction. We said we are looking this as a phenomenon and not as a problem. We have short-term challenges, mid-term and long-term challenges. First, we have not collaboratively understood aging as a phenomenon. It's largely seen as a liability. So there are a lot of fronts on which we will have to work out, and that's why my entire journey to next 22 states and 8 union territories, which kickstarts in August, is important. Okay. Coming to what is Silver Village, of course, this idea we have borrowed from Denmark, but we have iterated it much better than what they did. So in Denmark, what they did is they realized that institutionalizing elderly care is actually killing the humanity. You're almost dumped the person in a hospital and he's leading a life and like a vegetable. Forgotten. So they created Dementia Village, and it was largely for dementia and Alzheimer's. So the entire setting, and there's a lovely video on that, nobody knows it's a dementia village. So people come, collaborate, study, understand them, and they are leading their life. It is designed, and that's where the strength of engineering comes, on a concept of design theory. So design theory, starting point is the user. They empathize with the user. So sometimes even while coming to this building, you will have your own shortcuts. Because the architect doesn't think from a user perspective. So we create our own shortcuts.
Correct.
So we studied Dementia Village and we said, can we build upon, because dementia or Alzheimer probably happens at the fag end of your aging. But we saw challenges because we changed the aging bracket. The challenges are starting from 58. So what do we do from 58 to 70? So Silver Village is a unique concept. We are still rendering it, which will, one, deinstitutionalize the aging. Second is, if you must be remembering chemistry and a concept called valency.
Oh, no.
One element has extra electron, one has less electron, and they bond. So sodium bonds with chlorine.
So there's a give and take.
H2, give and take. So we looked at different sections of society. We have aging, we have orphans, we have single parents, we have divorcees, we have abused. They find it very difficult in terms of inclusivity. It is still on paper. So this village will attempt to bring them together and watch how the phenomenon unfolds, because they will be there for each other. So the challenges of every human interaction is inclusion, control, and affection. That gets well balanced. See, this is still on paper. So we will pilot it, we will test it, we will go to anthropologists, epistemologists, phenomenologists, we will study it, and then we will build up. If this takes off and my gut feeling and my initial data says it will, then we can replicate it in probably every state should have a silver village. So this will be Goa's answer to not only Indian aging, but to almost 50 countries which are struggling with aging. They don't know what to do. So silver village will bring back the narrative that aging is a asset. And then slowly it might become a clinical liability.
Okay, I think your Silver Village sounds like a true utopia. It does take a village, as they say.
Yeah, to grow the child. So now it is to
We're
nurture
trying
the
to-
aging.
Yes. Now, you said something about creating your own geriatric age brackets. Why did you go with, industry standards?
Absolutely. So I'll just share something. So this has been already done by Department of Planning Statistics. This data is already there.
Okay.
Again, this data largely has only the economic or health parameter into it. So I may sound that I'm repeating a lot of things, but when you want to study a phenomenon, you want to study it in totality. So we said, okay, someone has already done a work, there is no point reinventing the wheel. The entire research moved from hunch, which started with the AIMS Center for Aging. Then we had qualitative research done first to strengthen the hunch. And that's why there are those 4 stages: sensing,
Connect,
diagnosing, intervention, and action research. Once we felt, yes, there is something coming out of it, we moved into qualitative research. So the age bracket helped us to bring more facets of the shades of the gray, not just one. And that actually becomes the turning point for the book. And I would be very happy to share FICCI, New Delhi, is writing a position paper on aging. And 2 weeks back, they invited us, they quizzed us. We shared a lot of interesting data because this position paper goes to Niti Aayog. And I'm very proud that Goa's contribution will feature into FICCI's position paper, which no other state has done. And they were absolutely thrilled with the type of data which we have collected.
I think that's something very remarkable for the Federation of Indian Chambers of Commerce and Industry in New Delhi, to approach you and invite you to contribute to their paper on aging.
Yes.
What are you hoping to bring to the table?
See, again, as I said, what we are trying to do is we are giving them a lot of patterns which are coming up in different age brackets. So we are looking at urban, we are looking at semi-urban, we are looking at rural, we are looking at deep rural. So there are a lot of either matrices which are so important to collect the data. So it's simplest analogies, we have made a net and now we are going for fishing. So the net is huge. So definitely we will get a huge bounty out of it. Then we are looking at gender, we are looking at disposable income, we are looking at social aspects, we are looking at cultural aspects. So it's like, what happens in the studio. There are so many lights, so the entire studio is lit up. So that is what we are bringing to the table. And I think I don't want to spill more beans. I am inviting through your medium to a lot of philanthropists, industrialists to come forward, put certain part of their CSR into this project. You will have your own CSR programs. We say don't touch that. But at least 10% if every industry contributes, then Goa suddenly goes on the world map for a better reason. And that is what we want to achieve.
Now, you said that, there's such a lot of data to collect and there are so many facets and there are so many aspects, whether it is gender, whether it is your rural areas, urban areas. Now, another thing that you've done, I think for the first time, is you've combined data with storytelling in your book. Yes. How did the integration of tools like, say, your Power BI and your QR code help you? And how would it help others who are looking to do the same research?
Absolutely. As I said, while one track was understanding aging as a phenomenon, but it's not first time. I have been associated as a resource faculty for Goa University for last 20 years. And I'm very popular in the campus to bring live paid projects to the students. Okay. Because I don't want students to be exploited under the tag of volunteer. And And I have seen they bring some interesting value to the table. They bring a lot of freshness. They don't have any
It's a
baggage.
different perspective.
Yeah, no baggage, no bias, and voracious appetite to do something. So even when I started Goa CSR Award, it was a research-based award. I'm the first pioneer founder of Goa CSR Awards. That time we did the same thing. We have involved students.
Okay.
So while we were doing that, as I said, most of the people think surveys, you just write 12 questions, put it on Google form, send it on WhatsApp and make everybody's life miserable. Kisko bhar ke de do, something of that. We said, no, let's look at something. And then Kaushal suggested that since he was doing a lot of work on QR is a known technology.
We use
Everybody
it every day,
uses it for
yes.
UPI payment. So one is the ease. Second is we knew students, what would be the age of the students? 18 years. They don't have that expertise to face a 60-year highly matured respondent, who is at the peak. He has seen the world, and not that everything in the world changes. A lot of things are predictable. So one, we wanted certain comfort level to be created for both the respondents and the surveyor. So
Okay.
this QR code is very unique. When you scan, you get a dashboard and you can navigate. Now, suppose the elderly wants to know who is Kishore Shah, he can navigate. It will be very difficult for a student to by heart everything.
True.
Correct. So QR code was done taking into consideration our college students plus the elderly, and plus it's
And the
a
relaying
known
of
technology,
information.
relaying of information. Now imagine 2000 sample size with qualitative data, with quantitative data is a humongous task, because every day evening we used to verify the survey form.
Okay.
Because there is a possibility duplication, some may hypothetically write. As students, we have also done those tricks. Okay, so they were verified in the evening. Next day morning, we used to go, no, this data is incomplete. We surveyed a lot of things, but then I would specifically mention VDA Info Solutions. It's a CMMI level 3 company. They came forward and they said that they will deploy one regional head to tackle the Power BI. Now, Power BI is such a phenomenal instrument from Microsoft that it helps you for data sourcing. There are no restrictions. I can source data from cloud, from spreadsheets, any source. So I don't have those hiccups. Then data organization, data modeling, visualization, dashboard, which are so important. So dashboard is like in the car. You at one glance, you see everything in your car. You don't have to see 20 places. You will bang the car somewhere. The most important part is the aesthetic part it brings into it. So research is no longer a boring phenomenon,
yes.
With lot of pages, and by the time you reach the last page, you've forgotten what the hypothesis was. So we use Power BI, and most important today, our students from these 4 colleges, 100 students, not only know what is social research, but they are well versed with Power BI, they are well versed with QR code. They are at par to any research analyst in the world. And time and again, I have seen we have a wrong myth about Goan students. We conveniently use this word sushegat. It is not like that. They are extremely talented. The issue is they need exposure, they need a trigger, they need enthusiasm, they need a handholding, and they are second to none. And my 20 years, whatever success we have, I think a large part goes to the college students and the faculties there.
Okay, that's awesome. Now, the UN has said that by 2050, we're going to be having a major geriatric crisis.
Absolutely.
Are there, if you had to name 3 things that we could do today to prepare for this shift, what would they be?
I'll tell you upfront, because we started with that first. One is we need a lot of position paper, research paper coming from every state. FICCIs is struggling, because they're looking at experts. The moment they knew something is happening in Goa, they engaged with us. So we need position paper to be written. From Goa, I think we have almost completed the position paper. But all 21 states, 8 union territories have to write down a position paper. That's the first priority. So let's understand, because India is very diverse, very complicated country. So aging phenomenon will be different in every state. Second, what we want very urgently government should do is to give a lot of funds to start social startups. We have startups, but they are all embedded in engineering colleges. If you see a classical success of a startup to become unicorn is those startups which dabbled with social problem, Ola, Uber,
Yes.
Blinkit.
Solve a problem, an actual problem
they
that
quadrupulated.
We have. Yes.
Correct. So we need some policy change. We need funds to start social startups, and they should start in every state. That's the second most important priority. And third is the Silver Village project. If we take off in Goa, earlier the better, we would be able to replicate it. So this will be our first step towards tackling this phenomenon called aging.
I think that was very beautifully put, Mr. Shah. Your book is, more than a book. It's a movement, a call to action, a lens, so to speak. Thank you so much for joining us here today.
Thank you.
For this enlightening and deeply inspiring conversation.
Thank you so much. Once again, my real gratitude, because finally our outreach largely depends on what media does for us. And I'm sure Prudent again now is a benchmark, because this is the first time we are sharing our thoughts with a channel partner. And thanks once again. I have absolutely no words to express my gratitude.
Our pleasure.
Thank you.
As India moves through one of the biggest demographic shifts, I think Mr. Shah's work reminds us that the elderly are not just a statistic. They are our mentors, our memory keepers, our reservoirs of wisdom. To our viewers, whether you're a policymaker, whether you're in industry, a student, or even someone with loved ones in your life, if today's conversation inspired you or it moved you to think differently, we urge you to pick up a copy of Surfing Grey Waves, be a part of the dialogue. Thank you so much for tuning in. This is Heather saying bye for today. Until the next one, stay kind and don't forget to listen to the voices that have lived the longest.